What I think it is you got these grown-ups out here who were losers as kids, and they don't want their children to experience that. Right? Because you got two guys on this platform.
I have to disagree. Welcome back to the Playbook. It's your boy Lion, joined by Mr. E and Doc. How are you fellas doing today?
What's up, gentlemen? Today we have a special guest, my boy Donald. Donald, I'm going to let you introduce yourself and tell him about your show, because he also has a YouTube channel doing big stuff on the interweb, as the old people say.
On the internets. What's good, everybody? My name is Don Lewis, a.k.a. DL Saint. You guys can find me on YouTube, DL Saint, I Really Want to Know podcast. And I am a retired air traffic controller, FAA air traffic controller. Yeah, if y'all want to talk about that, we can talk about that.
Were you forced to retire? Just kidding.
Nah, I wanted to retire. Like I said, we could talk about it if y'all want to get into it. Once upon a time, I was in the United States Army, former paratrooper.
All the way, baby. You already know. You know.
The real deal right here. And I just lucky enough to bump into this brother right here at a Latin spot. It was, shout out to Avalon. I wish you guys were still around.
Man, for sure.
Yeah.
It
was great, man. And so I'm a retired air traffic controller. I moved to Florida back during the pandemic time, back in 2020. Single dad. I got a 16-year-old daughter. I'm just out here doing what it do, guys. I'm waiting for my daughter to graduate, and then I'm going to move on. I'm going to go down to Miami. I used to live in Miami before. I look forward to going back. So I'm gonna go down there, but I'm just here doing my thing. Thank you guys so much for having me on. I can't wait to get into it.
Okay, so I've been a mentor for a long time, big brother. Don't have kids, but there's the baby boomers that came before us. I'm a Gen Xer. We the gangster gen. You know what I'm saying? And then they have millennials, and then there's Gen Z, right?
Yeah.
So there's just a lot of stuff going on that Gen Zs are doing that I used to think the millennials were bad till the Gen Zs got here.
Wait, Doc. Aren't you a millennial? I thought you were a millennial.
You're my dude. That's why drinks are on me, bro. I'm not a millennial, but a lot of my friends are millennials, and I gave them a lot of crap because they're a lot softer than we were. They didn't grow up drinking out the water fountain. My mom's telling them to come back by dark. Don't die.
Are you part of the Pepsi generation?
That makes you a Gen Xer. Yeah.
You're a Pepsi generation? Is that what it is?
I'm part of the generation where Michael Jackson's hair caught on fire when he was doing the Pepsi commercial.
Bro, but y'all didn't peep some. Y'all didn't peep what Doc said, bro. We drank out of water fountains and garden hoses.
Garden hoses,
That's
exactly.
right.
And it was at risk of life and injury, because you would go to some neighbor's house or whatever. Sometimes they let you. Most times they wouldn't let you do it, but you would go ahead and steal some water and try to not get caught. That was the whole thing. It's like, yo, drink some water and then
he was
run away.
From Jersey, so that was even more dangerous than a lot of other places.
Exactly.
Listen, I'm from a third world country. I was just drinking from the
river.
That's different. Okay,
some people tell me. That's what
Lion
people tell
brought
me.
a different perspective. He hit us with the. But yeah, so one of the things we talk about when we talk about millennials, Gen Zs, different generations of people. The internet, good or bad, what do you think how it's impacting? For me, immediately, like I said, again, as a mentor, it's gotten more and more rare that people's emotional or social IQ is where it should be. I'm always excited, like when Uhura and I were traveling to France just now, recently to Nice. I met this little kid in the airport that was like 8 that I had a discussion with that was making eye contact with me. And it was a better discussion than I had with most 17 or 18-year-olds that I was mentoring. And it made me feel like there is hope for the future, but that is so rare. And I think a large part of that is because of, people are not communicating like we used to communicate.
Go outside, people. Go
touch
outside.
Grass.
Touch grass.
Exactly.
Touch grass.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you, Doc. As far as social interaction, being able to talk to people, being able to hold a conversation whether you want to or not. That's an art form, and that's something that people of our generation learned because you had to. You were put in uncomfortable situations in real life with people, and you had to make the most of it. And sometimes you come out of it with a new friend, or other times you come out of it with an enemy. I think that's part of it, because people are scared of conflict. It's scared of doing that, so they'll just be fake, and it's easy to do that online and so on and so forth. However, being able to talk to people, being able to talk to a girl without using ChatGPT or something like that.
Gosh,
I think that's
hilarious.
Man, come on.
What are you asking ChatGPT to tell you? I don't understand that part. How is ChatGPT going to help you get the skins, bro?
Bro, if you have to ask Chap, that's why it's funny. Like, I still like to, I'm a people person, as you guys all know that. You know what I'm saying? So, but I remember I was somewhere and these guys, went over and spoke to some people, and there were some girls, and this dude was like, "Yo, man, you just rolled over there off the dome and talked to them IRL." And I was like, "What did you just say? What are you talking about, bro?" And he said, "In real life." I'm like, the fact that there is a term for guys who talk to people or girls in real life versus like not in real life or online or through apps or whatever, that in itself is indicative of a problem.
What that reminds me of? That reminds me of Judge Dredd. You remember with Sylvester Stallone and Sandra Bullock? It's like
I know the scene you're talking about.
Exactly. And what did she say? She was like, "You do that in person or do that in contact?" It's like, no, we
That wasn't Judge Dredd. That was the other one. That was the one with Wesley Snipes.
It was
something. What was that one?
You're talking about the one
where he was frozen. It's
it was Judge Dredd.
That wasn't Judge Dredd. They had the shells.
The three seashells to wipe to clean their butt.
Yeah.
Right.
It's
that wasn't Judge Dredd.
Demolition Man.
Demolition Man.
Yeah.
My bad. Demolition Man.
Yeah.
Check it out. Go ahead.
Demolition Man. But here's the thing. I talk about this a lot on my platform. Just so you guys know about me, like I started my YouTube career, I guess is what we can call it, right?
Yep.
That's what it is.
Yep.
In the red pill, manosphere, manoswamp space, whatever y'all want to call it. Now, over there, it is truly, people like me are like, hey, man, it's about improvement. Become the best version of yourself. Like the Rich Coopers of the world, the Rollo Tomasis, the Michael Sertains, these guys. And now you can add even, what is his name? Dr. Scott Galloway to that list, although he's not red pill, but his message is. Right. Guys need to get better. I believe this all began with everyone gets a trophy.
Wait a minute. That is on my list right underneath what we just talked about. So he didn't even read my list. He didn't see my list.
Didn't see the list.
So we could just transfer the fourth place participation medal. Everybody gets a trophy. That is some BS right there. And you're creating a substandard freaking,
Yeah, can I vent for a second? Because I was just talking to somebody.
Hey, bro, in my mind, man, growing up, second place was just first loser.
Exactly. There was a coach that I was just talking to this week, and we both said the same thing. Participation trophies are crap. Me personally, I think that like participation trophies are like the parents' redemption for them not getting a trophy or whatever. That's
living vicariously through their kids type of thing.
Maybe I'm going too far with it, but the whole point is like you should be acknowledged for overachieving, doing more than what is expected, and then we acknowledge you. You should not be acknowledged for showing up. You get a picture. We got a team picture or whatever. Hey, frame it, put it up, and it's all good. Like, I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but sports are a microcosm of life the way I believe it.
Yeah, indeed they are.
And the only way to stand out in life is to do more than what is the social norm. Go ahead.
So I had to play devil's advocate because
I like it. I like when you play devil's advocate, Lion.
I don't want just to
one
be
perspective, right?
Yeah, one's perspective. Although I may agree with a lot of stuff you guys say, I think the big culprit of everything that's going on is overcorrection. I think we have an overcorrection of the parents of those kids that are
losers
looking for the participation trophy, however you want to call it. They're looking for a participation trophy. Is they're overcorrecting with their kids because of how their parents raised them. Maybe they found it to be too tough, so they overcorrect. And these kids are gonna overcorrect in a different way. And this is what we're seeing in a lot of different aspects of society right now. Is a lot of overcorrection for whatever happened previously, and we're gonna go into this vicious cycle of overcorrection. Yeah. I think that's what's happening right now. That's my view.
I'm with you on that. I hear what you. I get it. Yes, I agree with what you're saying in theory. However, what I think it is you got these grown-ups out here who were losers as kids, and they don't want their children to experience that, right? Because you got two guys on this platform.
I have to disagree because I know I've seen some kids of very successful people. I wouldn't consider them losers. And some of those
you didn't see them play football or basketball either.
That's what I'm talking about.
But
right
I wouldn't consider those people necessarily like
right.
Look at what's his name, Dwayne Wade's kid.
Right.
Would you say he's a loser? I would. He's a champion, right?
Yeah.
And his kid.
Dwayne. Oh, I thought you meant his kid. I was like.
So there's things that some of these people that even some of the successful people have treated their kids in a way that's too soft.
Right.
Because maybe their parents were too tough.
Because you
and
try
it's
to
overcorrect on the next generation.
I agree with you there.
I agree with that aspect of it for sure.
I don't, but so I'm glad everybody else
you
agrees with
understand
Lion.
it.
So
Go ahead, Doc.
I understand the concept.
Tell us, Doc.
100% I understand
Fire
the concept.
away.
But here's my thing about that. Okay, so we live in a time now, and like, I agree with your theory, and I think that is going to be a percentage of it. I don't think the majority of it falls into that percentage, that behavior that we're seeing. I think now we are at a place where people, we could go back, not to take it back too far, but we go back to the military. So the years that we were in the military, I know, and if we especially go back to my dad's time in the military, like there came a time in military training where people could say they were stressed out and get a break from the training, right? That was crazy to me to hear that, because you know
Right.
why? And I make this analogy because there's no timeouts
In
or stress
war.
breaks in war,
Right.
right? There's
Exactly.
no participation trophies in life. To me, I believe I had great parents, right? You know what I'm saying? That supported me in whatever I really wanted to do and aspire to, which is great. But at the same time, they were like, yeah, you know what? You want to play football, but you weigh 138 pounds going into college, so that might not work for you, dog.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
D3.
Right, you know what I'm saying? And now even more.
Still small.
But, so yeah, so right. So I mean, I think that like there's nothing wrong with supporting your kids where they are, but you also don't want to set them up for failure, because in the real world, even now in this age of, because what's happening, I think, is we're creating gods among men. When that kid who was 8 in the airport that I spoke to, that kid's going to be a CEO of some major corporation now, because his competition are going to be people who are twice his age and can't even look me in the eye and have a conversation.
I think part of it is the concept of protecting them from the outside world and things that can happen.
Exactly.
Versus preparing them
Preparing
to
them for the
handle.
outside world.
Exactly. And
There's a difference, and so like, and that's what my parents taught me. I was 8 years old, walking to whatever you want to say about it. I was 8 years old, walking about 3 miles to baseball practice in the city of Elizabeth with just me and my friend, and we knew that if someone crazy came up to us, we knew to run in different directions, so at least one of us knew what the guy looked like, so that we can go and get him or whatever. And don't go here, don't go there, come straight home, so on and so forth. Preparing your kids for things that can happen. I'm not advocating sending your kids out by themselves in Florida, because it's crazy over there.
Right, times are different, right? Like now,
not advocating
now you
that.
can't just leave your kid out all day like you
But
could.
it's safer now. But here's the thing, though.
No, it's not safer in
This
Florida.
is where I disagree.
Go ahead.
Today is safer than it was when I came up. The 70s and 80s
Closed
were lethal, bro.
Closed circuit can't. Right, you had stranger
The 70s
danger.
Yes.
Yeah,
The 70s and 80s were lethal,
Motherfucker
bro.
throw you in a van and then never see you
I'll never
again,
see
dog.
You again, man. Like, so now, like today's world with cameras everywhere, with all the other grown-ups on alert for other kids, I think it's safer today. We know about the weirdos, and we got photos and action footage in 1080p of these weirdos where we didn't know back in the
then.
70s.
Yeah, and people, a lot of people had that uncle that that come to the barbecue and they want the kids to stay away from him, but
Jesus
no
Christ.
one,
That's
didn't.
facts. You want to
Moving
play
on.
hide? You want to play hide the sausage? Nah, man, stay away from Uncle Weirdo over there. I mean, that was, you know what I mean. So, and just so you guys know, I am a retired air traffic controller, but I'm also a stand-up comedian. And this, I talk about this on stage all the time, bro. I talk about, like, when I was growing up, I'm from Cincinnati, Ohio. When I was growing up in Cincinnati,
Cincy.
Ohio, yeah, they had this thing. How about them Bengals? They had this thing called Rent-A-Kid. You guys ever heard of this?
No.
No.
I'll tell you what Rent-A-Kid is. About to learn something.
Doesn't
I'm
sound
about-
like
I'm about- I'm about to learn you
no.
something. It is
I'm
exactly
a
what
little
it
scared.
It
Oh,
is.
yeah.
You should be. It is exactly what it sounds like. You can call on a telephone to have a kid delivered to your house to help you do little odds and ends around the house.
yeah,
and they
yeah,
would
yeah.
pay them.
Okay.
So they would get paid.
Jesus Christ.
But here's the thing, though. This is the joke that I make when I'm on stage. I'm like the PDF files, because I don't want y'all to get in trouble. The PDF files back in Cincinnati were lazy. They didn't even have to get a van. They didn't have to get candy. All they had to do was order up a little kid. Yeah, I want me a little boy. You got a little red head? Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Send him on over here. It's a hot day. He don't have to wear no shirt, do he? Just send him on over here. But that was us growing up. And the joke is, they were like, well, how did you deal with it? That's why we so fast. Like you know what I'm saying?
No, but I again, I have to be devil's advocate. So just
please.
as we have as many tools to know about the weirdos, we had the map with all the predators. This stuff is still happening.
Right.
And this also is happening, and maybe sometimes even it feels like at a higher level, because the same tools that we have to prevent this,
People
these
can use it
people
to hide
have
it.
to hide and to get more access. Whether that's they can get your kid from home to come out and meet them somewhere because now they have access to these high tech tools. And so the sword cuts both ways. So you have
Yeah.
you
So
have the
I-
tools
But
over
the
there.
whole
But
thing is, the rent-a-kid, they would take you to them. Like I said, that was even worse back then. They would take you to the dude. There was no legal obligation to tell people that you were doing the things that you like. Today, you move into a neighborhood, it's on the app.
So what I'm talking about is preparing your kids to face the world is make it sometimes telling them how to handle a letdown, sometimes telling them how to
Disappointment.
handle
Yeah.
adversity.
Yep.
So for me, I didn't make my basketball team 6th grade year and 7th grade year.
It's okay, buddy.
Thank you. I made it 8th
yeah,
grade
yes.
year. And I sucked in what was it, minor league baseball or whatever, little league baseball. I sucked my first year, but my parents wouldn't let me quit, even though I wanted to. And I was good, second, third, and I was the number one, well, arguably number one, top 2 in the league in my 4th year. And you talk about trophies. We went to a tournament that they had been going to for every year in their existence. And we took 2nd place, which was the first time that we had achieved that height for that league. So I did keep that trophy because it took me 4 years to get it. However, when I took 2nd place in the rec league for basketball, I didn't take that trophy because I believe we should have gotten number 1, and it was first loser for me in that particular situation.
When you're not going into the point, when you're not crossing over the line into some sort of psychological or physical or abuse, then I think that it's good to put people in situations where they learn what their limitations are. You know what I mean? Because that is how, because if you don't, you're going to figure it out the hard way in real life, because life isn't care.
Now I'll say this: I know with physical violence against kids, I think.
You're not man. I was in tech, bro. I went to school in Texas
Listen,
where you could paddle dudes in school. You could get paddled in school.
I'm from the Dominican Republic. They still do that back then.
Do they?
So so trust me, I got.
You
mine.
can't trust everybody to do that with your kids. That's the problem.
Correct. So
Right.
I know with that, like if I have a kid, I'm not gonna be okay with it. And you don't know what they're gonna project on your kids. I do agree with the lessons at a young age, and I agree from a very, very young age, a kid needs to learn that there are gonna be times that you're not gonna get your way. There are gonna be times you're gonna have to work harder at doing something to get better at it. I remember I played basketball and played baseball. I am 6 feet at heart. So growing up, I playing basketball was the shortest guy, right? I was also the heavier guy. I wasn't able to compete at the same level as some of the kids that were leaner, faster than me. So back home, there was no like, well, let's give you a participation trophy. No, you had to get good.
Right.
You have to learn to be good. So what do? You practice. You put weights on your ankles. I'm gonna be the best guy rebounding at this court. And I got better, and I started winning. I started getting picked for it. I was in a baseball little league in the Dominican Republic. Dominicans are known for playing baseball.
Absolutely.
So this is like a very competitive little league that everybody's
Right. Oh, yeah.
playing their hardest. My cousin with the same last name was the star of the whole league by leaps and bounds, the best hitter of the whole league. He's a couple years older than me, and like the De Leon brothers, they call us brothers.
So you had they had expectations.
The expectations was already
Right.
built in. The first year I sucked. I couldn't hit. He hit almost every single
Like,
ball he
it
hit
is
was a
not
home run.
hereditary.
I couldn't hit it. So I would spend the time away practicing with grains of corn
Right.
and a broomstick, hitting that until I got really good at it. And then the next year I would be very, very good. I was chasing him, so I got really
right, because
I understood the
you're
effort
motivated
that
to work harder because you're trying to compete.
correct. You understand the effort.
So with that example right there, this is the problem with today's America. Well, maybe the world, but definitely in America.
Oh, it's mostly America.
Mostly America. Today's grown-up wants to protect the child from the adversity you faced that made you better. And that's what hurts us as a society.
Yes.
Period. They don't, you can't be given a championship. They just can't give it to you. Everybody wants things given to them.
So I totally agree with you. So here's another way to look at it is there is somebody out there who's hungry, who's putting in the work to be the best, right? And if you're not putting in the work and you still want to be the best, how does that happen? Are they going to lower the standards for you? That's not going to happen.
Get run
Not
through.
just that.
Yeah.
Even above that is providing a child the understanding that life is not fair. Because sometimes you're gonna put in the work. Sometimes you're gonna put in the hours. Sometimes you're gonna do it all.
And you're not gonna get a promotion.
And the guy next to you that has done nothing,
Will get the-
because of
Yep.
some relation, he's gonna get whatever you think you deserve.
Right, right.
And you have to then look at them. You know what? It's okay. I'm gonna go in tomorrow. I'm gonna be even better.
Right.
To the point, but you.
Or
have
I'm going to find another,
because-
recirculate my CV at another company.
Because guess what happens? If you don't understand that life is not fair, you're gonna work your ass off to be really good at something, and then this person that doesn't deserve it may get something, and you're gonna be defeated, and then that's gonna break whatever got you there. But you have to understand. You know what? I didn't get it this time, but you know what? At some point I'm gonna surprise this person.
What y'all need to understand about the word deserves, my favorite line from a Clint
Oh, I
Eastwood
hate
movie.
it. Oh my God.
Deserves got nothing to do with it.
Oh my God!
Deserves got
there is
nothing to
stuff
do
like
with
you're
it.
talking about Gen Z and like how many times we watch the reality shows or whatever. How many
Yeah,
times
what-
do they say the word deserves and it
Bro.
irks me? It's like nails
the
on a
sense of
chalkboard.
entitlement.
You deserve nothing.
That was a great discussion we had today, guys. Let them know again where they can find you at.
You guys can find me on YouTube, man. I really want to know podcast. You can find me on Instagram. Also, I really want to know all one word. I really want to know podcast on Instagram. DL saying I really want to know podcast on YouTube. And just so you guys know, we're here in Tampa. I'm working with Tampa Bay's own Will Ghostin, 12-year NFL vet, Super Bowl champion. And we have a podcast we're working on right now to be out, man. It's called Spoken and Smoke. Be looking for that, guys. It's coming out real soon, especially you guys here in Tampa. Come holler at us, man. And of course, I hope I can come back here.
And
I
yeah,
gotta
because
come
he's
back
got a
Absolutely.
cigar.
All
Oh,
day.
sure, bro.
All day.
We have a lot of stuff to talk about. But so your boy, his cigar, it's at his, he's the owner of
it's at a cigar lounge. It's called Elena's Cigars and Hookah. It's in town and country area on Hillsborough. One of Tampa's. It's only been open since April. So it's one of Tampa's newest cigar lounges, man. Come by, check us out, man. Closed on Monday and Tuesday, so it's open
The rest of the week.
Rest of the week. Thank you. I was about to get locked up. You know, I'm old. You saw me freezing. You saw me
Yeah.
glitching. I was over here about to start glitching.
That's what we're here for.
And all I got to say, y'all, is bye.
Peace. Don't forget to like and subscribe and eat. Take us home.
Hey, another great session. Make sure you check out all of the episodes and the other ones too. This is the Playbook. We'll catch you next time.
Peace.
Peace.